The big idea of this teaching is that we need to learn how to handle money God's way. Did you know there are over 2,000 references to money in the Bible? It's by far one of the most popular topics. In fact, Jesus spent time teaching about money in many different parts of the scriptures. As we follow God in faith and we grow in spiritual maturity, we're going to understand how to apply biblical principles to handling finances. I want to share with you a couple of principles when it comes to finances in God's Word. Number one, the way we handle money reflects our heart. See, money is not good or bad. It's a temporary tool for living life. It is how we handle it that reflects what we truly believe and in whom we trust. We read this in Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 21. Jesus said to his disciples, "Where your treasure is, where your money is, there your heart will be also." The second principle is that God's Word teaches us that all our resources are from Him. See, when we understand that all we have in this life is actually given to us by God, we're going to see ourselves as managers of these resources more than owners of the resources in our care. We need to see our bank accounts and our real estate as His bank accounts and His real estate. We need to see our investments as God's investments and our businesses as His businesses. Listen, it can be hard to give control of the wealth that we might have worked for over time over to Jesus. It can be hard to change our savings, investings, givings, and spending habits, especially when we're used to and comfortable with living a certain way. It can be hard to see that what we manage actually isn't ours, but it's been given to us for a period of time. But let me tell you, as you grow in your relationship with God, you're going to see Him as the source of everything that you have, and you're going to grow in wisdom in how to handle these resources that are entrusted to us. You're going to see them multiplied, you're going to see them grow, you're going to see your family blessed, and also His kingdom advanced. Jesus said this in Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. "No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." The third principle that we see in God's Word is that we are designed to work. And the truth is, God provides us with the strength, the wisdom, the gifts, the ability, and the capacity for whatever work we do. See, we might choose careers that we think will help provide for our families or things that we enjoy. But the truth is, as we find suitable employment and work hard as employees or business owners, we're not only going to see our needs provided for, but we're going to see that God is going to use us to influence the sphere that we are placed in. Ephesians 4, verse 28 says, "He who steals must steal no longer, but rather he must labor, performing with his own hands what is good, so that he will have something to share with one who has need." God has designed us to be people who work. The fourth principle that we see is that we are designed to grow financially. As we save and make wise investment choices, we will see God grow our capacity. Yes, greed can be a trap, but wisdom will help us look for opportunities that honor God and produce a good return. The love of all money can destroy us. But as we are faithful in a few things, God will grow both our capacity to oversee more and our capacity to handle it. Deuteronomy 8, verse 18 says, "You will remember the Lord your God. It is He who has given you the power to make wealth." Principle number 5, we are to be wise in our spending. God's Word has a lot to say about how we spend money. And as we're wise in our spending, we will see God provide for all of our needs. We need to work to pay our bills, to live within our means, to get rid of debt, and be disciplined in our spending. We need to be on guard both against materialism, which is the love of things, and a poverty mindset, which makes us believe that maybe we should have less. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17 to 19 says, "Instruct those who are rich in this present world not to be conceited or fix their hope on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly supplies us with all things to enjoy. Instruct them to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous, to be ready to share, storing up for themselves the treasure of a good foundation for the future, for eternity, so they might take hold of that which is truly life indeed." The sixth principle is that we are to be generous in our giving. We're not simply to work to hoard things for ourselves, but we need to intentionally give. As we are intentionally generous with our finances for God's kingdom, we're going to see the message of Jesus, the purpose of life, continue to increase throughout our world, and those who are in need be taken care of, and our hearts less controlled by money. In the Old Testament, people were required by the Old Testament law to bring to the temple 10 to 23% of their income. And in the New Testament, generosity was determined by a matter of the heart. We're to be guided by God's Spirit in us, our capacity, and the need that there is to share in the expenses of the church we attend and the people to whom we are committed. We're to be called people of equal sacrifice and generosity that remember that God's blessing outpaces our giving. We need to be generous to people in our family that have need and people in our church who also have need, as well as the community. The New Testament shares with us examples of so many believers who gave more than the Old Testament tithing requirements. I want to encourage you to take a look at all of these aspects of finances. As we do, we will find God's blessing to be overflowing in our life.